Oh, you know what I don't have open?
What?
Here.
The intro.
Oh.
Gee.
I have a beer. I do have a beer. But that's almost gone.
Intro.
Intro.
Yeah, this will be a very sober episode.
There it is. I'm drinking a beer in my episode 8 glass.
Oh, nice.
What?
Star Wars episode 8. Yeah.
They're still counting episodes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The Last Jedi.
What are those in between episodes count as? 0.5s?
Anthology films.
Yeah.
Fan fiction?
Those aren't
They're not fan fiction.
No,
There's a canon, man.
they're canon.
heir to the Empire.
I just watched Solo
No,
the
he's
other
on.
night, actually. I watched Solo the other night, and I watched...
After that Last Jedi, I tuned out.
Did you see Last Jedi?
I think so. Was that the 7?
No, that's
No.
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Oh, that's the one I saw. I didn't see the fake one.
Last Jedi was with the Porgs.
I don't know what a porg is.
These guys, I think a Porg is on this one, isn't it? Oh, no, the other glass I have is a Porg on it.
Oh man, that's not a real glass.
Hey, if there were any girls listening to this podcast about metal, we're going to talk about Star Wars now.
Well,
Why
you know,
not say girl?
There wasn't. So
Okay.
When a form of music that our children like becomes linked with ghoulish images and violent theatrics, it demands our attention. Hundreds of thousands of teenagers are locked onto so-called heavy metal music.
I grew up metalhead. I love 80s. Yeah, 80s metal, like Metallica. Yeah.
How much more black could this be? And the answer is none more black.
Gotta turn it up.
It's gonna be abrasive, it's gonna be sickening, it's gonna be hard to listen to, it's gonna be aggressive, and it's gonna fucking kick you in the fucking balls with a pussy.
alrighty. Welcome back, everybody.
We're back.
It sounded like Brack from, what was that?
Space Ghost.
Space Ghost.
So
Welcome back, everybody. I didn't mean to. But I
Onions,
did.
remember, onions make him gassy.
maybe you
So
need
yeah,
that
welcome
soundbite.
back.
You should get that.
Yeah, I do need a new soundbite. Yeah.
Next time.
I don't have. Now I need to get Brack. Damn it.
Yeah.
I have that, but I don't have it. I don't have Brack.
You have plenty of time. There'll be more
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
You can start the 89 stuff with that.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see
Yes.
that? Did you see Diablo, Keith? Is out?
no, Diablo
I
4.
sent you a link. No, the first
I saw it. Yeah, dude. Well, okay.
Well,
I thought you'd be more excited.
I don't. I
I'd
don't
be
even know
more
the-
excited about Diablo 2. Diablo, the fact that you can't just zap back and forth from
Started
different
it all,
areas of the game. You have to like walk through the entire goddamn game.
Yeah, it's
So, like,
hardcore.
yeah. Oh, that is a load of a waste of time, but it's a good game.
that must have been after my gamer days because I don't know Diablo at all. I know.
no.
Diablo was like 1995 or something. Maybe.
Oh.
not.
Yeah, it's
All right.
It was a computer game though.
Oh yeah, by Blizzard. It was the Blizzard's like first.
Oh well, we didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't play. We played
Commodore
console
64
games.
was the last
Oh,
We were all
computer
about
games we
console.
played.
what's after that?
Yeah, we were Sega kids first, and then we were eventually got.
Weren't you? You were. I think you were a beta, and then Coleco,
we're-
and then Sega.
Vision.
We had everything. We
Were
had
the
like,
wrong thing.
ColecoVision and television.
Geez, I wonder what these losers listened to in the 80s. Oh, heavy metal music.
And television,
Television, yeah.
Atari 2600, and
That's the one I was thinking of.
5200. Atari 5200, which had the King of the Mountain game, which
That's
we played nonstop. That game was so terrible.
it was.
2600 had it too, and it was terrible. But you
Time
could
out.
beat it.
Time out. The worst video game of all time.
ET.
E.T.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
Does anyone have any idea what to do in it?
No,
No, I don't
You
even
go
think
over eventually you go over 2 screens and then you fall in the hole and that was it.
The FBI guy comes after you.
yeah.
You
You
fuck-
have to collect. You have to collect Reese's Pieces. I know that.
they look like
How?
You had to sit on them like they were poops that you had to suck up your butthole.
Yeah.
Isn't there a movie or documentary about that too, or something?
Well, they supposedly they took all the remaining cartridges and buried them in the desert.
Yes.
Did they really?
Like hundreds of
Yes,
thousands. or
That is not a lie. They
They didn't take mine away, but they should have.
Yeah,
you have one, you should sell it.
I think it was fucking hard.
It wasn't a game. You
No.
went over 2 screens, you fell in a hole. If you didn't get captured by the FBI.
There was something with the flower pot too. You had
Yeah,
to get the flower to raise or something, or
Yeah,
flower
yeah.
to come back to life or something. That was
You had to make the flower turgid.
that's right.
You had to collect phone pieces. It was very
Yeah,
complicated.
you did. That's right. You had to collect phone pieces.
It reminded me of Raiders of the Lost Ark, but at least Raiders of the Lost Ark you could win. Like
Yeah.
there was an actual
Yeah.
We won that.
yeah, we did beat that game.
Pitfall 2, you could win.
Yeah, but Pitfall 1 you couldn't. Could
No.
No.
If I won was just high score.
you? Yeah, so stupid.
No, that was
Playing
80 games. I mean, they were,
Yeah.
Remember how bad
No.
they screwed up
Eric played
Pac-Man?
huh?
Atari 2600 Pac-Man. How
Oh,
bad that was.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun, dun,
my brother was a fan.
Good sound effects.
I don't have those either.
Yeah. Oh, man, you suck, man.
I know.
It's like,
His mouth didn't even open right. It was like,
Wait, time out. At least play The Price is Right there, because I mean, you deserve that.
I have that.
Yeah.
what was the game? Oh, Zillion was the game.
Oh God, don't talk about that game.
you know what is fitting is I think Atari, E.T. came out in 1983.
Yeah, that's right.
Was it 83 or
Well,
82?
no, 84 was
Or maybe it was 83 when they buried him.
no 82 was the movie.
Yeah, 82 was a movie.
I thought the game came in. I thought both of those.
That would make sense. 83 would make sense.
Let's just say it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like anybody can check.
Jump cut. Yeah, you're right, Joe. It did.
I mean, yeah, the internet doesn't actually exist. So.
No, that's all fake news.
Well, Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah.
He saved us from Man Bear Pig.
Do
All right.
you guys know the story of Eric when he played Zillion?
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what Zillion
The
is.
Sega
That
Master
was a
System.
Sega Master System.
What is
game.
that, like a Zaxxon ripoff?
No.
We were borrowing it from our cousin. He lent it to us, didn't it? It wasn't Jay. Didn't Jay or someone lend it to us? Because we didn't.
So yeah.
It was some weird thing where we didn't have it for very long. Like, and I played the damn thing all day long. Like, and there, back in the day, there was no save. There was no.
No.
You could go right back
You
to
could
that.
pause it.
There weren't even codes.
Yeah.
So
Maybe for the Atari, there was
the whole point of this game was you're running through the ship, going from room to room, and you have to just escape the ship before it blows up, basically.
Yeah, that's
Right. And so I get to the last level, and I put the code in. It gets me through, and I'm literally running down this hall, which is like I can see the exit of the ship, and I'm going to win the game. And I'm like, yes! And the power button on the front of this was on the front of the Sega.
Oh yeah.
So I kicked the power button as soon as I was like, yes! And I kicked the power button.
Turned it right off. This is like after 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is all day. He's like, yes! Boom!
You know what's great? If you hadn't done that, your life would be exactly the fucking same.
That's true. And you can watch the end on YouTube if you really want to see it.
Yes, it's true. There's playthroughs for everything now.
Well, now, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Back
You didn't
then,
miss much.
Back then, I was mad as hell.
I know. I watched it. I was like, oh,
Right.
it wasn't very good.
It's like the end of, was it Black Belt for Sega?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember tag team wrestling?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There
of
were-
course.
there were
Nintendo, I thought that was pretty good, wasn't it?
There were 2 teams. It was on the arcade also. 2 teams, and you fought them over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we didn't come here to talk about video games, although
No.
we may have turned the first half of this episode into video game chat, but that's fine.
The first half. This is a short episode.
All right, the first quarter.
Okay, sure.
Now we're doing math. Great.
We're talking about 83, more 83 albums.
Mhm.
Continuing our talk about that year and albums that came out that year. So this episode's going to focus on Suicidal Tendencies debut album, Def Leppard, Pyromania, Misfits, Earth AD, and honorable mention, Heavy Metal Maniac by Exciter.
So 2 of these bands aren't even metal. So
True.
Yeah, true.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You could maybe even say 3.
Yeah.
A little.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
well, I found out about the fact that we were talking about Exciter about 6 hours ago while at my desk at work. So I don't know if you mean them.
I don't.
I haven't listened to that yet because I didn't have enough time to.
Well, should we get them out of the way? We could just do a real quick
let's do it.
thing on Exciter.
And I'll go take a shit or something because I have nothing to add whatsoever.
Well, I didn't grab a lot of notes. I mean, I have some talking points about them and the band.
I think I've probably heard it more than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's the one that. So
Yeah,
you might want to read this.
you were going off on like, oh man, we need to talk about these guys.
We should, because they're the
then
metalist band.
start talking, shithead.
I don't feel like that was very nice, Keith.
I'm not very nice. So.
Go take a shit.
Apologize, Brett.
I think they're the metalist band of this group of bands, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't even remember how I came upon them. I guess we're looking at 83 albums, and it must have come up in a search for 83 metal albums. And
Yeah, I'm sure.
let's check this album out. And I was like, holy shit, these guys are really good. And then I feel like there was a strong influence from, or they influenced Overkill was my biggest takeaway from that album.
Yeah.
Like early Overkill sounds a lot like Exciter. At least this.
I got a lot of different bands from this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something going on there. They are maybe an unsung influence, you know, kind of like we found out last time with Satan.
Yeah.
It's weird how we go back and kind of search deeper, and these certain bands pop up that we hadn't really heard of.
Well, that's one of the awesome things about the show is that is like exact experience.
Yeah.
Finding gems that actually affected the music that we've grown up to love and, you know, care about so much, that we actually run into the shit that actually, you know, was their impetus.
Yeah.
I think Eric.
Yeah. There you go. That right there, that. Yeah, I mean they've got the very stereotypical '80s scream vocals.
Yeah.
I'm like the Cult.
They're a little bit more reserved than Satan was with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there were some songs, and I mentioned this to Tim. I was like, "Hey, Tim, go listen to this song Iron Dogs and tell me who the singer sounds just like."
Yeah.
And I don't think you got it at first, but when I told you, you were like, "Oh shit, you're right."
Yeah, totally.
He sounds just like the singer for Death Angel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So let me see. Turn. This is Iron Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh my god, it's a Death Angel.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They love reverb on the vocals.
Yeah.
And the vocalist apparently is the drummer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. So they're a Canadian band. We didn't mention that. Joe was saying before.
Oh, can you play that part?
I gotta find it. I don't have. You talking about the interviews?
Oh yeah, if you can cue that up. So at the end of the album, there's 3 little quick interviews with the band, and I guess it's from a radio station or something back in the early '80s. And as soon as this guy starts talking, like you're like, oh, they're fucking Canadian as fuck.
Let's see.
It's awesome. Like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
Hey.
That's the end.
Okay, well, this song came about. This is a song I thought of the theme. I thought, it's going to happen sooner or later, World War III. Mm-hmm. and got together with John and Alan, and we decided what the heck, we'll write a super all-out metal song, like as if, what's happening all around us. World War III, fire in the skies, bombs are crashing, and that's what it's all about.
You want to explain the record?
Okay. Oilers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fucking Keener.
It's all about rules.
It's like if he'd only said obviously several times, you'd been like, this is a hockey player interview.
So the notes I took on this band, I already mentioned the singer, and he sounds just like, well,
sometimes
very similar to singer of Death Angel. I did not like the
Mark
Asagueda.
Yeah.
I have trouble with his last name.
I didn't like the super cheesy screaming. That was pretty annoying at times.
And for 83, you kind of have to expect.
Yeah, it's that's like you said earlier, Keith. It's kind of what it was kind of expected of a lot of these bands.
Yeah.
So, I overall though, I thought it was a pretty good album. Like there were some really good songs actually. I was surprised at a few of them I really enjoyed. I don't know if I'll go back to it a lot, but I did overall enjoy the album.
Yeah,
it's good. I mean, Joe was like, I think Joe, you said this is already the second best Canadian band.
Yeah, I think
metal
so.
band.
I haven't even listened to their other albums yet. This is their.
They're that close to Rush.
Yeah.
Who? Was it? Who was it? Mistress of Evil or Black Witch? I can't. I should have paid more attention.
Maybe you should have written that down.
Oh, Black Witch. I thought. What I had a note about Black Witch. What did I say about that song?
Was it the one that I thought it sounded a lot like a first album Slayer song?
Possibly. I think I said that there was some. No. Oh yeah. No, I said that was very early Maiden-ish. The slow parts of that song I thought were like.
I've got my backup computer tonight, so I don't have iTunes.
Early Maiden, early Slayer. Those two are nothing alike.
Well, what's funny, Keith, you say that because
that's not true. Because we talked about how there was some Iron Maiden influences on the last.
Okay, yes, all right. I see what you're saying there, but I mean,
there's parts of Black Witch remind me of Maiden, but then there's parts of Mistress of Evil that remind me of Slayer. Like the solos were not great on this album, the guitar solos, and so a lot of them reminded me of Kerry King stuff, which. Some of the stuff's good, but some pretty bad. Let me see if I can find that part in Black Witch. There was a slow part that was like, he sounds just like Paul Di'Anno when he sings during the slow parts.
So pretty.
This is actually good. This is like, the vocal inflections like mountain. Yeah. Very Di'Anno.
Woman wants to mess with my brain. Darkness and sorcery till I die. Stop what you're doing.
You get the point, but that's total Maiden to me.
Yeah. I heard some Merciful Fate in there too. I thought
I don't think they get the credit they deserve from the metal world.
No,
I don't. If you look at what other albums did they have? Like how long were they around?
The band around exactly? Because I'd never heard of them before you started.
Until 2010 was their last album. They had a bunch of albums. Wow. I mean, I can't speak for any of the others. I haven't listened to them, but
maybe they're huge in Canada.
This one exactly, yeah. They're like the Moxie Fruvis or something. But yeah, but because of your enjoyment so far of this one, you'd say you'd probably end up bouncing around to some other ones, huh?
I will check out their other stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, World War III. That song I thought was really cheesy, but for some reaon I really liked it. Like, me too.
It was catchy as hell. Is that the one where the bass kind of is on the same note throughout?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great song.
It's very catchy. That's kind of
it is the most metal bass riff I've ever heard.
It's very Judas Priest.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice. There we go. I like that.
But he does it again. Oh, let me down.
Production has the bass so clearly defined. Like,
These were extras on the album.
Oh, were they? Well, that's an Evil Sinner, I guess.
They were 2005 bonus tracks.
Oh, okay. Well,
They were recorded in different places than the actual album.
you're right, Tim. They love their reverb on those vocals. Don't they?
Oh yeah. Do they ever?
I don't know what's going on the album cover either. That's
Oh, the
hey,
cutting
80s.
the
is it bleeding?
yeah, the amp is bleeding.
The Marshall?
Mhm.
Marshall?
I didn't look
You
at
know.
Marshall.
Wow, they use Marshalls.
Yeah.
Marshall stack.
I wonder if he's got a Les Paul.
I wonder if they used Fenders if they would have sounded better.
I think something better in doubly.
In what?
Well, should we move on? I mean, we don't need to.
Yeah, well, I'm
spend more
exactly.
time on this.
No.
Can't even.
But I think people should listen to this album at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
No.
it's worth checking out for sure. So what do we want to move
So
on
that's the metal portion of our show tonight.
to? Yeah, if you came in from metal, you might as well leave now.
No, but there's good stuff to come.
Oh, there
Oh,
is.
yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Well, what do we
So-
transition to? I mean, I mean, I think the next
Anything,
step
yeah.
would be Def Leppard, but
Yeah, let's get the foreign bands out of the way.
Okay,
All right.
I'm talking about Def Leppard.
Or I shouldn't say out of the way. It makes it sound like we're taking out the trash.
but I mean, let's face it. With Def Leppard, this is their third album.
Is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was what was the first album called? I'm blanking.
On Through the Night.
On Through the Night, and then
High and Dry.
High and Dry.
Pyromania, and then they broke huge with Hysteria.
Yep. So
They weren't big on this album?
They were big.
pretty
They
big.
just weren't. Hysteria is what took them from
Yeah.
They weren't
big
pushing
rock
sugar.
band into like holy shit.
Yeah.
They're like having orgies underneath the stage, doing drum solos with like 400 women at one time.
It is documented. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, so this album was released on January 20th, 1983, so it's pretty early in 83. Let's see. The first album to feature guitarist Phil Collen.
Yeah.
So the lineup actually is so Phil Collen on
Wait,
guitar.
he wasn't. I mean, he only did some solos on it. This was already had been mainly recorded
right.
before they fired that guy.
You're right, yeah. So he's got guitar solos on tracks 1 through 3, 6, and 7, and he does some additional guitar, additional guitars and backing vocals. Pete Willis was the other guitar player.
Pete Willis.
Pete Willis, rhythm guitar on all tracks. And then Steve Clark, who unfortunately passed away
R.I.P.
2 albums later, right?
Well, more than 2.
It was this one, and then he died after Hysteria, right?
No, it was a while after Hysteria.
Was it? Okay.
It wasn't like during that tour. It was sometime in the
They
night.
didn't record another album with him after Hysteria. though, did they?
I think
it was the last album they toured with him.
maybe. I mean, let's face it. After Hysteria, I didn't give it rat's ass. About yeah.
So, and then Rick Savage on bass, Joe Elliott on vocals, and Rick Allen, drummer.
The greatest drummer to ever live. I mean,
The last,
this guy could do with one arm.
the last album with 2-armed Rick Allen.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think that was a big reason why stuff after this was really bad.
Kind of, but you know, one of the talking points I had about this album was the fact that the drums on this album already sounded very electric.
I thought this was pre Audubon, Rick Allen.
Oh, did you?
But I couldn't tell for sure because it sounded like he did a little bit of stuff that I didn't think you could do.
Yeah,
pedals, but
well, and if you listen to High and Dry and On Through the Night, it doesn't have that. I didn't think it had that same electric drum sound.
No,
I think it sounded a lot more natural, like acoustic.
Those are more.
I think as the 80s went on, I think
rock bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think I like this album. I think High and Dry is probably their best album. But I actually enjoy this album. I'd say maybe 3 or 4 songs I'm not a big fan of, but overall, I have no problem with this album at all. I actually quite enjoy it.
I think 2 of their best songs are on this album.
Yeah,
period. Like, I mean, they "Too Late for Love" and
Foolin'
are their 2 best songs.
I mean, for me, that's the one thing. Like, I think I'm telling the same goddamn stories over and over again. But for me, Def Leppard and Bon Jovi are always going to kind of have at least like a little bit of a soft spot in my heart because they're the kind of the stepping stones that I took to get into music.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. Like Uzer Dusane, my brother's best friend, our next door neighbor. He's just like, man, you guys got to hear Bon Jovi. I'm like, all right. And it was like, hey, Slippery When Wet. There's some good tracks on that. It's rock and roll, Then my brother, Hysteria, blew up, and my brother went out and bought all 4 of those albums, all 4 Def Leppard albums, and that ended up being.
How sheltered were you, where somebody had to show you Bon Jovi?
Hey, exactly, dude. We were still listening to WAVA. Dude,
I got this album.
Well, that's what I was listening to too.
Yeah, that was all they played was Bon Jovi.
106.
Hey, time out. Yeah, but Eric, you and Tim,
Amish Keith over here,
older brothers. You guys had older brothers that kind of at least did something. Joe, I don't know how the hell you got any of this shit, but for me, my older brother, he was in high school by the time he really found music. And for me, Hysteria was the first album he got, and then he got the rest ones, and I really fell in love with this one first of all the 4 Def Leppard albums. Why, I don't know in hindsight, because as it turns out in the long run, definitely I agree with you, Eric. High and Dry is definitely their best material.
Yeah, I think so.
Going over track by track over this thing, some of these, I mean, let's face it, who hasn't heard Photograph being beaten?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But Too Late for Love, I thought was fucking horrible.
Oh, really?
Right.
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just like Too Late.
It's very poppy, but it's
song about. I mean,
it's just about that, I think.
I mean, for me, what was it? What did I write down here? God damn it.
But Rock of Ages is also a fantastic song.
Solid.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Come on, man.
What? It's a good song.
Rock of Ages is fantastic.
It's a good song.
Rock of Ages, it's fucking solid as shit, man.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I mean, the
Words is fucking garbage.
No, the last 2 songs are terrible, and Die Hard the Hunter is cheesy. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That was the only song I think I liked. Besides,
no, it's boring and just not good.
Yeah, Action Not Words is just generic.
Nah, it's not good.
Very repetitive and boring.
I mean,
but yeah, Foolin' and
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages, man, you don't like Rock of Ages?
They haven't written anything as good as Foolin', period.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
What's the Bring It On? Is it Bring It On a Heart?
That's
Bring It On Heartbreak. That's a great song.
That's Heartbreak.
Yeah, that's
probably my favorite song that I've heard by them. But
it's a really good song.
That's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
But
so which one? Rock of It or?
Yeah. The one thing I'll say about them, they love their overproduced, harmonized choruses.
Oh, they do.
Where it's like everyone is singing, and it's clearly like electronic sounding.
But the first 2 albums weren't really like that.
No. I mean, exactly. Especially On Through the Night was very basic 70s rock.
Raw.
That's what bothers me about. Here's what bothers me about Rock of Ages. First, it's got that weird nerd thing in the beginning. I don't even know. That's stupid. And then the way he sings the verses, it sounds like he's doing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
What? Now you're probably going to ruin the song for us.
The verses you said. Oh, that?
Yeah.
Pyromania! Come on!
All right, but this song. Hold on, let's get to it.
Foolin'?
Yes.
Yeah. For, Def Leppard, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Yeah, that's a good track.
Bitch.
It's weird because this is the only album we've done this entire podcast where there's songs that I remember hearing when I was in like 7th grade because it was on the radio. It was on, like WAVA would play this. So it reminds me of being like 13. And I mean, everything else we've done has been like 14, 15 and on. This is like 12, 13 years old. It's weird. It's like this is, before I was in metal, before I was in anything, music wise, this was just like.
Well, yeah, I mean, we mentioned on last episode about Motley Crue and how that was my favorite band. And it's because when I started listening to quote unquote metal, it was Motley Crue and Def Leppard and a little bit of Rat and Poison were even mixed in there. And it was that was what got me into heavier music.
There were stepping stones that got you that until you finally hit what you fell in love with. Those were at least, satisfactory building blocks.
Yeah, because before that, it was around the house. It was radio was on, and that was like you said, WAVA, and it was like Bryan Adams and pop top 40 basically. And my parents listened to some good music, but it wasn't anything that really caught my ear. It wasn't until I heard like this, like Foolin', I was like, that's good. That's like really good.
For me,
it evolved.
Poison. You mentioned Poison, like that was, we all know those videos from the late 80s, and I'm just, all right. I like this, man. All right, good. Thank God I never got into it. I get to pride myself these days, pat myself on the back. I never went out and bought that album. That wasn't like the first band I got into.
I mean,
my brother got me into Def Leppard, so I don't even need to really say that. Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, they were building blocks, so to speak. But Metallica is what it started off with for me. So yeah.
I mean, Tim, Tim said before, he went to a Rat concert and Poison was the opener. So, and my first real concert was Def Leppard. It was Def Leppard with Europe opening. So
That's right.
I was 12 years old. I told that story before. It was Europe
brutal,
was the opener. And they played Final Countdown to start the show. And
was that 89? Was that 88?
87.
87,
God,
did they play Carrie and what was the other hit?
I don't remember. I'm sure they did. All I remember is the first song and the last song because it was the same damn song.
Like, who knows any other Europe song?
I know.
There's Carrie.
The Final Countdown, but
No, they had Carrie. What was the other one? They had another, like...
Final Countdown.
Rock
like a
Me.
ballad.
Rock Me.
Who
right?
Was it Rock? I don't know.
I think it's Rock Me.
Who cares?
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Def Leppard.
All right. I took some notes.
Okay.
I have notes too. What are your notes?
All right. Pyromania. Eventually, it ends.
No.
I asked myself, why are the vocals so buried in the mix? And then I hear Joe Elliott screaming, and I go, oh, good idea. I wrote that it's surely better than 75% of albums ever made in history. The tempo on this album varies about as much as, and then I couldn't think of a simile to finish that thought. It's like Mutt Lange took a rock band and said, Muzak is the future of rock. It's lacking balls or soul.
Oh,
this album makes me crave whatever was coming up next, so that's a plus. And then more specifically, why do they keep saying "fuck me" in the song "Action Not Words"? And also,
I don't know that.
Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
We'll go listen in a second.
I'd be shocked.
No, please.
That
was the worst song on this album.
I want to know. I would like to ask them what they thought about this, because danger is not an emotion. They thought that was a strange emotion, and Billy's Got a Gun.
No.
Oh.
Also not a very good song.
Not a good song, though.
I know English is not their first language, but
man,
what is
Paul's on this episode?
Yeah.
Are they British? Are they German?
Yeah.
Oh, well then fuck them.
Wait, I'm curious about this Action Not Words. Right there. What did you say? Shock me? I don't know. I don't know what he was saying.
Shock me?
Yeah.
Or shock you?
I don't know.
I mean, it was Def Leppard, so it very well could have been "Fuck Me," and well,
why don't we look it up?
So
I didn't have that much time to look it up.
I'll do it right now. There we go.
And they also loved putting exclamation points in their song titles.
Oh yeah.
The
Made it
actual
exciting.
word is shock me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I was right.
I think it's better with fuck me. But
Yeah.
But did you think his vocals are really buried in that mix? Like it's a very guitar heavy.
the whole production is just kind of a. It's overblown and just.
It is. Yeah.
But that guy's supposed to be one of the best producers in rock or in music.
I mean, it's the drums are ridiculous. They sound absurd.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bass on some songs sounds like a synth bass.
I mean, he was, I don't know. Their bassist was, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, as stated, this is, getting me into music. And after this band, I heard Cliff Burton.
Yeah.
It's like you had
I
Bud
forget this guy, whatever this guy's name was, just like, oh, that guy is fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is Bud Light to, I don't know. Any kind of beer, really.
Yeah. But even the guitar solos versus the guitar.
But hey, if you had been drinking water your entire life and all of a sudden you got Bud Light, you were excited.
Yeah, it's like the Eddie Murphy Ritz Crackers.
At the time in my life, this was the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So did you guys listen to anything after this? Recently?
Hysteria or you mean the really more recent stuff after?
No, like even Hysteria. Like I went back and listened to Hysteria just because I hadn't listened to the album from start to finish in a long time. I was just curious if I would like it. It was okay. There was nothing on that album that really. I think this album.
It's so weird to think, like listening to that. I did not, but I, looked through the song titles and stuff. Just, it's so weird to think that thing turned into like the hugest album of 1998. That thing was nuts, and also not to mention, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah.
It was kind of written by accident.
Yeah.
But, hey.
Yeah, that album, Pour Some Sugar on Me was the big hit, but I agree. I don't see why it became such a huge, aside from that song, there was nothing that really,
what's another song?
Really that great of an album.
I guess I could look
really,
Animal. Isn't there a ballad, like a love song?
There's always a ballad.
Oh yeah, what is it?
I like Animal. That song's not bad.
What is that? Yeah, the slow song on that album.
This album,
Love Bites.
Love Bites. Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, that's not a good song.
Terrible.
Yeah.
God, that's awful.
But look, I was 12 years old. I loved that album when it came out. Yeah. So, I did watch some more recent live stuff from
Armageddon it. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Getting it.
Are you getting it? That's a good rhyme, guys.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's really bad.
I don't know if you've seen Joe Elliott sing live lately. If you go watch some performances on YouTube, but he has a hard time hitting those high notes.
Yeah.
So what he does instead is just do like a falsetto that has like zero rasp. So it's just this. It doesn't work. It's bad.
I mean, that's the biggest problem with so many of these vocalists from that time frame. That let's face it, age affects your vocal cords pretty fucking badly. None of these guys should even be attempting to do anything.
I was surprised at how much I hated his raspy voice on this album. He sounds like the guy from Cinderella on a lot of parts.
What? I hate that band.
Yeah.
I thought he sounded
Tom
more
Kiefer,
like
is his name?
Yeah, Tom Kiefer.
I thought he sounded more like
when he was just singing like clean. He has a really good voice, but when he did this screechy shit, I was like, no wonder the guitar is covering him up. It's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I equated it more like Brian Johnson. Like I thought the song "Rock Rock," I thought his voice sounded a lot like Brian Johnson. That song.
Till you drop.
Yeah.
Till you drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I don't know why. Because I mean, there's plenty of other. We've talked about King Diamond and plenty of other vocalists who I find
good, but talent
for whatever.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can argue with the soundboard, Keith.
Well, I don't know. I don't think we need to spend much more time on this album. I did enjoy it. I'm surprised Joe hated it as much as he did.
I know. I mean, as
I'll never listen to it
as forgettable as some of this is, there are some at least solid tracks, especially the time frame that it came out.
Yeah.
It's at least more rockin' than
The big hit on the album was Photograph, and I like that song. It's all right.
I would feel
I still like that song.
My God.
As we stated,
Overplayed,
this wasn't really much of a metal album as much as rock and roll, but there is a
Yes.
little bit of a transition there. I think was at least solid.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No. And now for something completely different.
Yeah, so now the last two albums we've completely veered to a different genre. Well, let's do Misfits real quick. We'll save Suicidal for last because I think we'll have the most to talk about with them.
Us talking about this is going to last 4 times longer than the actual album.
It probably will.
Yeah. Doesn't take much.
So this is interesting. So I need some background on this. The album is Earth AD. I know you guys were looking a little more into the history of this album and what's included on the original and what's not. So somebody enlighten me. Give me a history lesson here. Because
hopefully this album was 2 EPs. This was 2 EPs thrown together. The band was falling apart. Surprise, surprise. And punk rock. Could have thought. But, they pretty much were put both of these. They'd already had, I guess, both of them recorded, or at least the first half. And they, threw everything together to try and salvage the band, at least according to, I think, what Wikipedia says. That's why they just couldn't find it. But one way or another, so they threw this together in one last effort, and they even used, I think, two of these songs were apparently supposed to be
three of them.
3 of them were something that Danzig had already kind of designated that would have been part of Samhain.
Right. So, I did make a note about that because the songs Blood Feast and Death Come Ripping were originally intended for Samhain's first release, but were added to what would be a Misfits' final record in the last-ditch effort to save the band. Okay.
They sound like Samhain songs.
Death Comes Ripping, for the longest time, for whatever reason, I thought I think Samhain did a cover, or they did a version of that.
Yeah.
They also did.
Probably imagine live. They definitely would have done.
They also did All Hell Breaks Loose in both bands.
Yes. Yeah. And Halloween.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. And the Misfits versions I liked better in all of them.
I liked Halloween 2 by much better than the Misfits version. That riff is so much better.
Yeah.
That's be crazy.
No, it's just way more effective that way.
Yeah.
I mean, but what is there much to say about like this? I mean, it's not their first album. It's short as shit.
It's technically their second album. Like that's.
But technically, it's not even an album. It's 2 EPs.
Right.
It's 2 7-inches that were thrown together. I mean, look, I still consider it with Suicidal. We're going to talk about them soon enough. But Controlled by Hatred, Feel Like Shit, Deja Vu was not necessarily an album,
right? But
turned into their third album.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a bunch of shit thrown together. Yeah. That maybe that's the whole thing. Like everybody talks about the creation of an album and putting the songs together. In punk rock, none of that fucking shit mattered. You went to the album, you recorded as many songs as you had. Maybe it was 2, maybe it was 12, maybe it was 108. It still lasted about 10 minutes to listen to all of them.
Yeah. And you said it was 2 EPs crammed into one, but for most bands, the length of this will be 1 EP.
Yes. Yes, that too.
So I mean, the longest song is 2 minutes long. So I mean, I'm sorry.
Well,
My Darling is 3:12. But again, that wasn't.
But that wasn't even on this album. Like when this album came out,
I think we need to
9 tracks.
I think we need to include the longer version.
Of it. Absolutely. I mean, we absolutely have to because the 2 songs.
There's 3. There's 3.
Okay, fine, 3. But Die, 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 My Darling, and the fuck is it?
Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Time?
Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill? Oh, holy shit, those 2 are just.
And We Bite was also the one that they added.
Well, that was fine, but those 2 are like 2 of the best Misfits songs.
I like the live version of Mommy better, though.
I do, except I was listening to it today, and there's a part like in one of the verses where you can tell he's not even singing the words.
A lot, though.
Yeah, that's Danzig.
That's punk rock.
Yeah.
I will say I went through the album and read along with the lyrics because you could never do that back when you had the tape, Yeah,
right.
There was no way to really know what the lyrics were. So I finally did that like a month ago or something, and I thought, oh, I wasn't missing a fucking thing. These are nonsensical. This is bullshit. It's it's the way he sings it that's cool. Like it doesn't matter what he says.
I disagree with that. That's the one thing I always, and you guys can bust on me as much as you want on this, but Danzig was a guy I always kind of avoided. As stated, just from this, I got into metal before punk and discovered punk kind of in the earlier 90s. And Misfits, everybody kind of boosted this shit up. Like, oh my God, Misfits. I still remember this guy, Matt Sawicki would we wearing Misfit shirts and all this shit, dwarves. He told me about all these bands. And finally I listened to it, I'm like, oh God, especially with his metal stuff, like the first Danzig albums. And I hated how much he sounded like Elvis fucking Presley. I mean, it's a definite, obvious, influence in how he does things.
Elvis and Jim Morrison were his two biggest influences.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just hearing that enraged me so much that for the most part, I got into metal first. It was all of his metal stuff I heard, and then all of a sudden I hear the Misfits, and I didn't even give it the time of day because it was like, fuck Danzig. and I always hate that because, seriously, like going back to listen to this shit, I did listen to it, in the early 90s and the late 90s and so on and so forth. But, some of these fucking songs are incredibly good.
Oh my God,
my darling, and
this album is
Devil Lock.
Green Hell. Come on.
The album kicks ass.
That was one of the first songs I ever really got into, recorded by a different band.
Well, yeah.
But the album kicks ass all the way through, and it's their most it's their fastest.
Oh yeah, that's the tempo of this thing.
It's
I
the
love
metalist album by far.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost tempo wise, it's almost thrash, but the guitar is not.
No.
No, you're right. But but if you listen to their other stuff, this is, I think, the biggest departure. I think it's the most aggressive with their music. Angriest.
Well, the band was also falling to pieces at this point.
Yeah. So I went back and I was like, I want to get a little more perspective, and so I listened to their other stuff today when I was driving back from Delaware.
Their other album? They only have one other one?
They have a lot of material.
They do have a lot of material.
After I listened to that album, I listened to Walk Among Us. And fucking A, that's the quintessential
awesome album.
Misfits album, right?
Oh yeah.
Well,
but it's so, compared to this, it's so much happier.
The quintessential Sex Pistols album is Never Mind the Bullets.
But their other stuff was it was so different, I think, than this album.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say what I like better. Like,
exactly.
I like almost everything they have. Like, and then I listened to the collection 1 and 2.
American Psycho.
And like fucking Bullet. That's the most offensive song still ever written.
God, yeah.
Like Skulls.
Yeah.
But Skulls is just kind of generic. Bullet is like specifically talking about like John Kennedy and all that shit.
Suck and cum, and it's not something you want your parents or kids to hear. Like, probably.
The one thing about the Misfits is the majority of the material was all written about the worst horror movies from like the 1940s. Like some of this shit, I don't even know where the hell they found, and why in God's name did they write songs about that? Especially considering the lyrics of the song had nothing to do with the movie. So
it's Danzig.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the lineup.
All right.
It's not. It's Glenn Danzig, Jerry Only on bass, Doyle on guitar, Robo on drums.
Robo.
Good old Robo.
The producer is Spot.
and Spot, yeah.
Spot. Is he a dog?
Exactly, Robo and Spot. But Jerry Only.
Paw Patrol, yeah, on the double.
We don't know that. Sorry.
Sorry, I have a 5-year-old.
I know, we don't. Yeah, but Jerry Only is. I think he was in the band since the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He and Glenn formed the band, didn't they?
Yes, but I think there were periods of time where he had to sit down because of the drug and alcohol use, and someone else played.
But isn't Doyle the only?
No, Jerry Only's still there.
Jerry Only's the. I don't think Doyle does it sometimes. I know they're related, but
They still
Harry
play it. In fact,
is still
they've done a
doing
few reunions with.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
Glenn last couple
Yeah,
of years.
they've even played with Glenn. I mean, they
Yeah.
just played in Jersey with him, and the tickets for that were like $400.
Oh my God.
There's one of them. I think it's Doyle. I've seen on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Girlfriend,
recently.
and
yeah.
they're and it's like him and his girlfriend with their chihuahua in bed.
Yeah.
He's got his makeup on. That's the weirdest shit.
Yeah. He's a pretty weird dude.
Well, he's the one who's come out recently to complain about, how the industry has changed and he has to do meet and greets for $50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Every
Get a fucking job,
industry
shithead.
Right.
Every industry has changed. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Get a fucking job.
Joe mentioned that this is their most kind of metal album, and there's 2 songs on here that Metallica covered.
Yeah.
So Green Hell and Die Die My Darling obviously were, and it's funny because every time I hear Die Die My Darling, I'm so used to hearing the Metallica version. I wait for the beginning of Lover Man.
Yeah.
I listen to that.
I was so happy that Metallica covered that. That's
yeah,
one of my favorite.
What did they do that on? I'd like to hear that.
Garage Inc.
Oh, you haven't heard that?
No, I don't listen. I haven't listened to any Metallica since Black Album. I mean, I've heard a few of their shit. I had to listen to a ton of it for you shitheads.
Yeah.
But, hey, Eric. It sounds too clean to me.
What are you gonna say, Keith? Sorry.
I was gonna say, Eric, could you maybe throw me those tracks over? Just shoot me the MP3s
Of what?
of the Garage Inc.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Sure.
Fuck you, Lars.
Well, if we want to get back on Misfits,
let's talk about Misfits.
So Earth AD and Green Hell are the same song.
Really?
Not really. They just sound a lot alike.
Yeah. There's that part, and
One of them's, I believe, 16 seconds longer.
Green Hell is that's such a weird song, right? Like,
Yeah.
the lyrics are weird, and the chord progression doesn't make any sense. It's like you had to not really have any kind of musical training.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
doesn't
the timing is really bizarre.
Yeah, and it's not structured like a proper song, really. It's
No, and that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah.
Touch it, see it. Here in the fence, there's a piece of your head. Touch it, feel it. You come to this, I don't go. I bet you never knew you were good. Ain't no
Yeah, that's weird.
Like you could
In punk rock, time out.
that.
In punk rock, there's so many times where I think like bands accidentally create like
Yeah.
like it's just like it sounds to me like kind of when you listen to that, like maybe the drummer like was just like on a 1 second delay or something like that.
Like you had to mess up
when he
to
was
do it right.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's really weird.
And it's
Playing that too well. Stop it.
yeah.
Well, like Rush could not have written that song ever.
No.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow themselves to do that.
Yeah. Their heads would explode. They would
Maybe
never.
a better example is like Dream Theater, because they can play fast. That would never happen from them. And also, like, first of all, what is a green hell? And who the fuck is a genie of death?
Hey,
What
time
is
out.
that?
I guarantee you, it's some like horror movie from like 1953
Probably.
that is fucking horrible. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, watch Mystery Science Theater 3000, and you will find like every single horror movie that the Misfits wrote a song about is on that show.
Yeah.
Play the Earth AD part. That sounds just like Green Hell.
So there's a part in what is it? Blood Feast, I think. Where there's these weird backing vocals. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, like a dog that walked into the studio.
I guess it's weird, like.
Yeah,
that's
there it is. It's weird, like someone's blowing and like,
it's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. It's kind of same.
It was also 1983, so it was probably somebody doing something they thought would sound cool. And
it is.
Yeah,
I think you should place a little Devil Lock and Death Comes Ripping just because they're awesome.
Yeah, Devil Lock,
all songs.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter. I'm trying, Keith. I've been trying to find it. I think there might be a movie called Green Hell from like the 40s. I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a here it is, 1957, Monsters from Green Hell.
There you go.
Let's all get together and watch that, and just, like we'll fall asleep in the first.
IMDb gives it 1.5 stars.
It's gotta be good then.
Oh yeah. This album is so short. I told you guys this. It's so short that if you're on Spotify, the next album just automatically plays. Yeah. And I didn't realize the next album had started playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, 20 Eyes is on this album? Oh, wait.
That Legacy Brutality or?
Let me see.
I think so.
20 Eyes is on Walk Among Us.
Walk Among, yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. Was Legacy Brutality just kind of a couple? I mean,
it was almost like a, yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like this band, recorded a bunch of stuff, but didn't really put it onto albums.
They had trouble getting it released.
Yeah.
Well, they were only around like 3 years, right?
They weren't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Death Comes Ripping is the other. That's the other one I wish, like, if a metal band had covered. I think.
I thought I swore I heard someone covering that. The only band I could find was Social Distortion did a pretty cool cover of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have the connection to Danzig with Chuck Biscuits.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
What album was that on?
I don't know. I found it just by Googling because I was like, I swear I've heard Death Comes Ripping from another band. Let me see if I can find it. I'll have to look on YouTube here. Let me see.
And I just organized my CD collection and found out I can't find my copy of Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. That's getting edited out.
Was Zach Wilde?
What?
Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell. What?
Social Distortion?
Oh, okay.
You never heard of the song Bad Luck? And the rest of that album.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Instinct would cover that song if we were around a little bit.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's awesome.
I mean, time out. That was
God
Social
damn it.
Distortion?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that had to have been from like
It was on drums there.
I don't know.
It was good.
Yeah, but that had to have been recorded in like the.
Hold on a second.
Mid-80s.
I might be wrong because I'm looking at comments on YouTube, which is, of course, now I'm very curious to find out if they actually covered this or not.
I mean, it sounds like what's his face, But I mean, it's all that is so much heavier than pretty much anything Social Distortion did.
Whoever it was is awesome.
Went a little rockabilly.
Hey, wait. The first comment is just so you know, this is 108, not Social Distortion.
Oh, 108. Okay.
Who's
See, I thought the guy was saying 108%, not Social Distortion.
Who's 108?
The first
Now I found
I
out 108.
don't know. Is there a band?
I mean, it might just be some
done by
let's
New York.
face it,
Done by New York.
You guys covered
band called
War.
108.
My band covered, Zero Boys. 108 could be some random schlubs.
There's a band. Apparently, there's a band called 108.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what I'm
Why
saying.
would? I mean, seriously, why are they not 138?
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we.
This is going nowhere.
Well, no, but I'm glad we found out who it was because I wouldn't have wanted to put that out on the episode to say,
Well, regardless, it was a fucking badass cover of it.
It was.
It was. That was nice, but
Nice.
Not Social Distortion though.
Nope.
Well, Will.
one way or another. So let's face it. We talked about Exciter, which was an album. We talked about Def Leppard, who made music. This, as much as it's like 5 minutes long, is fucking beat yourself to death, like hammer your face
Made
into a
music, I
goddamn
like
brick
that.
wall.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Uh,
That's pretty much what the
I
all
think the
music
name of-
review
I think
was.
the name of this episode should be Def Leppard Made Music. Who, made music.
If you put Def Leppard in the title, nobody's gonna listen.
That's probably true.
Oh, you're so mean.
I'm really not.
I mean, one way or another, I always feel bad about when it comes to the Misfits and Danzig because the whole the Elvis thing when I was a kid. Let's face it, I was young. Made me never ever give him the time of day. And
The Elvis? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the Misfits.
Glenn Danzig, the obvious Elvis influence, always made me say "fuck that guy," and I really listened to some Misfits, but not really a whole lot. And never gave them enough credit for what they deserve. I mean, this is a solid fucking album as much as it's 10 minutes long. Still, I couldn't really tell you I dislike any single song off this.
No, it's a great. I mean,
It's like, all of them are they might all be the exact same song.
If you don't like the song, it's over in a minute.
Yeah, that's the great thing about punk.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing.
There's a lot more great things about punk. Motherfucker.
Eric, can
With
you
the pool.
pull up American Nightmare for Keith by the Misfits?
sure.
Just so we can get his reaction.
For what reason? Oh, okay.
No, yeah. Well, win this race.
Elvis, you want some lemonade?
Lemonade.
Oh, refreshing.
And motherfucker had to sing all his dialogue.
I think he liked Elvis.
A little bit.
A tad.
Mm-hmm.
So, shall we move on to the other punk band of this episode?
Yeah.
Do it.
Suicidal. ST.
Suicide is, what is it? An alternative.
Yeah, Suicide's on the floor.
Let me pull this album info up.
Yeah, so debut album from Suicidal Tendencies. Lineup is Mike Muir on vocals, of course, and everyone else I have no idea who.
Well, Louis. You probably should know Louis, but
is it Louis or Luigi?
It's well, I mean, he goes by Louis. I mean,
Okay.
I mean,
His
right
name
now,
is-
like he still tours right now as Suicidal. Like, so
okay.
Wow.
he plays pretty much some music and mainly songs off of this album. I think he was also in most of the recording of Join the Army before he was politely asked to leave the organization.
Interesting.
He's got a lot of writing credits on this album, too.
Yeah.
And then you got Grant Estes, like Testes, on guitar.
Maybe it's Ests.
Estes.
Probably Estes, yes.
And Amory Smith on drums.
I imagine that guy's not Hispanic.
Who? Grant?
Oh.
Amory Smith.
Or Amory Smith.
I'm guessing Estes probably is.
Yeah. So my first thought listening to this album after a very, very long time, I haven't listened to this album in quite some time, quite frankly. I mentioned on a previous episode I don't listen to I know I'm sorry, Keith, but I don't listen to a ton of Suicidal, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much I like this album actually. Yeah. Definitely a crossover album, as you know, you've mentioned before.
Yeah. Wait, but that's the funny thing about this album. I mean, this came out when this band first kind of came together, and they, you know, all of, you know, these random people and Mike Muir.
Yeah.
You know, Mike was really trying to get stuff started, and he wanted to get things, and everyone's a big skate, you know, everyone's a skater back then around wherever the hell they were in California, in LA or whatever it was. So one way or another. So that's how this band started coming. They became huge in the skate scene around there. And unfortunately, they're Hispanic. So the whole racist thing kind of popped up, and they were always wearing, like, you know, we all see images of him wearing his goddamn handkerchief, or whatever you call it,
over his eyes.
Yeah. So they always were expected to have some gang affiliation. So that really stopped them from being able to play out and do a lot of shit, because everyone figured they were a bunch of freaking, you know, they were all involved in some Hispanic gang or some nonsense.
Right.
And the funny thing is I mainly know this from when what's his name? He was in Aliens.
Oh, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton died. As it turns out, Mike Muir and Bill Paxton worked together. And I think I even, once again, I'm saying the goddamn stories I've already said on this goddamn show. But they used to work together at the time while Paxton was trying to get his acting career started. And Mike was, you know, probably writing these songs, or maybe after this album had come out, but trying to get the, you know, his music career started, and shit was going nowhere. We all, you know, for anybody who knows this band, you know, the next album that came out, Join the Army, I think was in 86. I mean, there was a huge drop off between what happened there and that, and Join the Army. Join the Army.
It was a long time. Yeah,
it was a long time, because for the most part, they almost had to just break up because of all of the expectation that these guys were massive fucking, you know, gangster shitheads and drugs and blah, 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 and all that. Now, of course, the drug stuff was probably a little true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but, you know, but still, one way or another, this album, you know, like the funny thing about that, Mike Muir in an interview, like pretty much between this album and Join the Army, like, a lot of shit was changing, and he kept on pushing. He was trying to get shit, you know, going with his band. And all of a sudden, he woke up one day and realized he was in a metal band. This isn't a metal album. This isn't a metal band. And all of a sudden, it, you know, times changed.
But there were moments on this album that were very thrash like that.
Oh, exactly. That's the whole thing. Like, thrash as an adjective didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, so this is, you know,
but, you know,
still a punk. I mean, you listen to early Bad Brains, I'd say this stems straight from that kind of style.
Yeah.
But
but it, like, my point is just that it's, you know, it's there's songs that are just pure punk, but then there's other songs that you could almost call a thrash song.
Yeah.
In fact, Scott Ian actually listed this in his top 10 best thrash albums ever, which is funny.
You have the quote by him?
He said, "I just think it's a perfect album. Every song on it's great. It's a perfect crossover between hardcore punk and metal, and I guess that's what makes it thrash metal."
Yeah.
One thing, this is the funniest thing regarding this album. I actually bought Still Psycho after all these years before I even knew this one existed.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And I loved that album.
Yeah.
And I found out about this, and I listened to it. I'm like, what the hell? Why is everyone even listening to this? What the fuck? And it's because the production level, you know, from Still Psycho compared to this is so drastic.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, I mean, I haven't touched Still Psycho in 20 years.
I just listened to it today.
Oh, really? Nice. But this, I still love. I mean, give me a break. Fuck all three of you. I went and saw this band play this album like 3 months ago, and
Yeah, I remember.
with Dave Lombardo playing fucking drums, and it was brilliant and beautiful. And I was wearing Birkenstocks, which was not the.
Was Trujillo on it? Was he playing?
No. Their bassist they'd been playing with for a while died, I think, about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. So the bassist, solid guy. I have no idea who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Short. Was Dean Pleasance is on guitar. If you remember him, he's short
stature.
Guy.
What?
Yeah, he's a short Hispanic bassist.
I didn't know we were
all over the place.
I didn't know we were doing like rundowns of the
their height.
Well,
wait. He's got a 68-inch reach.
Well, the guitarist is Dean Pleasance these days. If you remember, he was in.
Where's Rocky George? Is he still the man?
Oh no. He was in Bad Brains for a little bit, or he played with Bad Brains, I think. I mean, he's been bouncing around a whole bunch of different shit, but I've really been surprised that he's never kind of found a.
He's really fucking good.
He is really fucking good.
Underrated for sure.
Yeah,
people don't talk about him enough.
Not that he was on this album, but
no, he wasn't.
He wasn't on this album. He wasn't on Join the Army. So
it's weird because you hear, like, I know I keep harping on this, but you hear this punk stuff, but then you hear there was a song that had finger tapping in the solo, and like, what? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, right.
Where he's finger tapping all of a sudden? What? It's just
this album is really
interesting.
This album's very much a genre like buster. It's got it's its own thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of a kind. You don't hear albums like this often. So,
and you're right. Even the production is garbage. It's still. And when I got the album, I think I got I think I had what was the 88 album we just talked about? How I Left Tomorrow. Right.
Yeah.
That was the first one I got, and then I got the Feel Like Shit Deja Vu, and then I got this album, and it was like.
Yeah,
complete departure, but I still loved it because the message was kind of the same throughout, right?
Yeah.
But it was like nothing. It was not like stuff that I was listening to at the time at all.
Right.
And the production was it wasn't the worst sounding album ever, but I mean, it's rough.
It ain't good.
No.
No.
And it was frustrating because there was like you didn't know what the lyrics were because the inner sleeve I think was like blank or something.
Yeah.
And so you kind of had to listen a lot to get it, but there was like you could kind of after you listen to the album a bunch, you figure out what the lyrics are, and there's a lot of like sarcasm and humor on this album.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, I Won't Fall in Love Today was just like so much my anthem in.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, senior year of high school.
Yeah. And Mike Muir, man, his ability to just speak or sing,
identify.
But his lyric ability, like the way he can say lyrics so fast and not sound ridiculous. Like that's an underrated talent too, you know?
Yeah.
Like he can get a shitload of syllables into a small amount of time. Like not many people that you're going to hear.
Well, wasn't Institutionalized, wasn't that the first, I think that's the first thing we saw from them, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
We thought it was hilarious. Like, because we saw the video on MTV, we're like, that is, I don't know who that is, but that's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
We didn't, I mean, that wasn't like.
Because that's what a band really wants to hear you say.
Well, it was, though.
It's hilarious.
But that's a funny song.
It is.
It's a funny song.
And the video.
Oh, Your Mommy is hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, wait, we'll come back to that. Let's stick with Institutionalized.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's and there's a recent version of it too, right?
There's the
body count version.
Body counts version. Have you heard that, Keith? We talk about this?
I'm pretty sure I have. I mean,
it's hilarious.
It's very good.
Did they just do it recently, or
a few years ago?
2 or 3 years ago.
I think I just read it was 2014.
Yeah.
But he does a great version of it. I mean, he updates it to like his life.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to come home and play some Xbox, and my wife's all in my face, and I'm like, get him! I just want to play some Xbox. Play some Xbox.
The best part is he's eating a pork sandwich, and the vegan comes up and asks him. Can you find that?
There we go. I think this is it here.
The other day, I'm just sitting alone. on lunch break at my job, trying to eat a ham sandwich. Got a little potato chips in the side, a little Kool-Aid. This motherfucker walks up to me and says, "Are you gonna eat that?" Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that. What do you fucking think I'm gonna do? Shove it up your ass? Do you understand that pork could kill you? Look, motherfucker, pork is not gonna kill me unless they figure a way to shoot it out of a fucking gun. But I might kill you if you keep fucking with me. He says, "Hey, calm down. I'm a vegan." Fuck a vegan. I could give a fuck if you eat sawdust, motherfucker. Just step away from my fucking sandwich. He said, "Do you realize how much sugar is in that Kool-Aid?" I said, "Do you realize how much blood is in the human body? Do you want to see it, motherfucker?" He said, "Oh my God, you need therapy. You have an anger problem." I'm not crazy. Institution, you're the one who's crazy. Institution, you drive me crazy. Institution, you put me in the institution. Said it was your own solution to give me the professional help to save me from the enemy myself.
That was brilliant.
How do you even write a song like that?
I imagine Paul would buy that album.
Yeah.
Well, I would love. You said okay. Talked about institutionalized, and hey, we ended with a great exclamation point on that one. That version. What were you going to say about "I Saw Your Mommy"?
I've got a really good story about that song, actually.
Please.
So
Tell us.
you guys probably know when my wife and I first met, we talked about music, and she asked what I listened to, and I told her, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slayer, and she said Depeche Mode, The Cure, and
Ministry.
Yeah, well,
the first two albums.
Yeah.
So that didn't really like. All right, well, we'll get past that. Well, so one day we were driving to dinner and we were listening to like 107.9 The End, which was some Utah radio station, and they were playing "I Saw Your Mommy."
The End is
wait. You heard "I Saw Your Mommy" on a Utah radio station?
Yes. Well, it was like after 10, so it's fine.
This was like 1999?
Yeah, this was 97. Yeah, so we were actually...
You heard this?
I think we were on our way back from dinner, because it was like 10 o'clock we were coming home.
I don't give a fuck. What time portal? Wait, in Utah...
Yeah.
You heard this song played on the radio?
It was an alternative... like 80s alternative they played.
On the telephone?
Anyway, so we would rarely hear a song on the radio and both go, "Oh, I love this song," but we both were like, "Oh, this is a great song." So now our running joke is for the rest of our lives, our song is "I Saw Your Mommy."
Oh yeah.
So now we hear that song, we're like, "Oh, it's our song."
Now that is romantic.
It is.
Did you notice that "I Saw Your Mommy" and "Subliminal" are almost identical?
Yes, that was one of my notes actually.
Yeah.
Subliminal and "I Saw Your Mommy." The riffs are almost exactly the same.
Yeah, you can sing one to the other. You can actually
It's ridiculous.
You can you can sing verses in either way.
Let's see.
Yesterday, as I went
I Saw Your Mommy.
I saw a body lying down white as a mouse.
Then the Subliminal.
Plastic pictures on my screen.
Yeah, same riff.
Same
They changed it a little bit there. But yeah, it's good.
Read your text, Eric. I got a better one.
What's that?
Read the text I sent you.
Yeah.
I just want to see what happens here.
Yeah.
So play the first one again.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll play that. Is that enough?
Almost.
No copyright laws would dictate that.
Okay. I think that's enough.
Met a girl, thought she
was grand.
Oh wow, yeah.
Love found out firsthand. Went well for a week or two.
God, I hate
Name unglued in a trap I can't grab.
I don't know how they haven't been sued for this.
Puddle of mud.
Yeah, about the same talent level.
Same, yeah. Early 2000s.
Oh, early, this isn't even late 90s. This is early 2000s.
Yeah.
2001.
Just fucking hates me.
Hate me. Please, all right, stop this. Stop. Like, I am not coming back for another one of these if we play that kind of shit over.
I just wanted to raise awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
Oh my god, I want to.
And that song was huge.
Yeah.
I know.
Huge.
The first time I heard it, I'm like, oh no, that's Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Suicidal deserves royalties for that song, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I thought.
Hopefully that's what Louis making his money off of.
Yeah.
Probably.
Luigi. It's a me, Luigi.
I thought Fascist Pig was the most punk song on the album.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I don't know. I went more in Fascist Pig.
The
Good trash.
the little thing I was saying about I Shot the Devil versus I Shot Reagan. It says on Wikipedia it says that I Shot the Devil was originally entitled I Shot Reagan, but the band is rumored to have been approached by the FBI to change the name of the song.
A load of bullshit.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. Dude,
Wikipedia is like,
we're like,
well, it's got a source. So
it's on the internet. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, let me look up the source.
It already says rumored, and it's on Wikipedia. So
this website does not look legit, though, that they sourced. This looks like one of those. What was that Yahoo? Like, what was their websites you used to get from Yahoo? Like
site
Ask Jeeves,
Tripod or something.
GeoCities.
GeoCities.
That's what it was. Tripod. GeoCities. Yeah.
God. Horrible.
The reason I said that is because my MP3 version of Still Psycho had I Shot the Devil listed as I Shot Reagan. I'm like, what the fuck? But I guess I got sketchy MP3 titles on my Suicidal Tendencies shit.
Good song.
The whole album's good.
I'm doing it! I'm just dying! I'm gonna shoot you! Then you have to ride! You're riding at it! Your naked voice! You're feeling proud! But you're in tight! Riding at it! You're feeling proud! You're riding at it! I'm giving it out! I can't let it! I got the clone! I got the devil! They ain't gonna hold! You're riding at it! Your naked voice! You're feeling proud! But you're in tight!
So you hear that, and then you like, what happened to Mike Muir's voice in like the 90s?
Yeah, you know what? If you even listen to the Still Psycho when he redoes them, he sounds younger on that.
Really?
On Still Psycho?
Some of the parts he sounds wimpy.
Oh,
because it was already after he kind of went to that weird Art of Rebellion.
Yeah.
So he was kind of doing that voice. Maybe his voice couldn't take the screaming. I don't know.
I mean, the age.
Yeah, he was like 19 when he recorded that album or something like that.
Yeah,
so
might have even been younger.
Yeah. So yeah. It's funny, you listen to this album, and Tim, what you did with Misfits, I did with Suicidal. It played Join the Army.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Talk about a change.
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty drastic.
That's the biggest change from probably since Guar. Like, Guar's first album is,
But that's one thing.
Guar was in a good way.
I think the only guy from this setup that was still recording into Join the Army, I think, was Louis. And I think he was only for like 3 of the songs before he got kicked out or something nonsense like that. I mean,
although I listened to the whole thing and it wasn't as bad as I remember it being. It wasn't.
Rocky George is on the second album. So is the drummer, R.J. Herrera.
Yeah, he's not enjoying the Army. Or
Yeah,
the Army.
he is. Yeah, he is.
He is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more metal for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not good metal.
It's
It
not.
wasn't bad though. I didn't dislike it.
Well,
when you
considering
compare
I
it
thought
to
three.
the rest of their catalog, when you compare it,
yeah, I mean,
How I Left Tomorrow, like holy shit, is that
Well,
album
yeah,
suck?
yeah.
Oh,
So
Well,
when
yeah, I mean,
when
if
you
you're
play,
gonna do that.
wait, all right, you listen, like the self-titled went straight into that, and you're like, all right, if that album went straight into How I Left Tomorrow,
Yeah.
you would have hit the fucking like.
Yeah,
oh my god!
something's up.
The hell was I listening to? That band sucked.
Yeah.
What is this?
True. Yeah.
For which album? What are you talking about?
Join the Army to How I Left Tomorrow. So if you were to play them,
Yeah.
So, like, I thought those 3 extra songs were like bonus tracks that I was talking about that were actually.
What
on
were the 3?
Army.
I didn't even listen.
It was Possessed Escape, Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right, and what was the other one? Human Guinea Pig.
Oh, yeah.
So those came up at the end of my version of Suicidal Tendencies, the first album, and I thought they were like bonus tracks or something. Although I had heard, I remember Possessed Escape they had a video for it.
yeah.
That was the biggest hit, I think, off of Join the Army.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I guess what are these like re-releases or like previously unreleased or whatever? And I liked them all right. Like they're I didn't have a problem with them. And then when I realized it was just a fuck up on my MP3 listing, I'm like, oh wait, so they're actually on Join the Army.
Yeah.
So and plus, and I liked them. And then War Inside My Head, I like that song a lot.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I need to go back and listen to that album. The problem, I guess, one of the things that jaded me to this album was when I was in high school and I had already had a bunch of Suicidal albums, and I went over to the record and tape exchange and I bought Join the Army. And one of the older guys that was there, I don't know if he worked there or was just hanging out. He's like, yeah, it's like a headbanger dude. He's like, yeah, that's their only fucking good album.
Oh, please.
I'm like, okay.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
And I already know I like at least 3 of their other albums. So I'm like, well, okay. So this,
so that's the complete opposite.
I'm like already, I'm like, this album must fucking suck then. Like, what the fuck is this guy? And I listened to it 1 or 2 times. I was bored out of my mind, but maybe it's worth.
Like I said, I listened to it again recently. I mean, it's only 38 minutes. I'm looking now, and it's not. I didn't think it was bad. So I mentioned "Fascist Pig" is probably the most punk song, and then it's followed up by "I Want More," which is like one of the songs on the album that's not punk at all. Almost.
You think
It's a great song. Yeah,
it's a good song.
I mean, it's slow. Yeah.
It gets fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
I mean, what is the definition of punk? I mean, you're talking about speed. Listen to some fucking Dead Kennedys, because that shit can be really slow, but it's punk as shit, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about
saying
thrash, it's definitely not a thrash song.
No, it's just, it almost doesn't fit on the album. That's all I'm saying.
It gets super fast there in a minute.
Does it? Yeah.
It's their ballad.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I like this song because it's him actually saying he wants to not be dead and be broke. I think it's an important actual song on the album.
Yeah.
It's him actually wanting, well, literally, he says, I want more. But he's like saying, I don't want to work for minimum wage and take orders from
shitheads.
Some fast food restaurant manager.
Yeah.
The fast drumming on this is kind of weird. I'm not even entirely sure what he's doing.
I got you. I know what you mean.
Smith.
It's like he's almost fumbling into being good in certain parts.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost a blast beat, but not quite a blast beat. It's like this weird. I don't think I could replicate it.
It was 1983, Jack.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying
he wasn't trying to do anything. He was accidentally fucking up.
Why do you keep saying these things?
Rage, fucking rage.
Is that why you guys want me on this shit?
So what else?
You know what I mean? On the drums, they're not just like a straight thrash beat, or even just a straight fast.
I see what you're saying there, but I mean, you got to realize I would say so much of what this band did, and a lot of what of the other punk bands in the early to mid 80s were. I mean, punk was dying, so to speak. So many bands were talking about punk being dead. I mean, let's face it, disco had flat out died. The entire industry, the entire world just gave up on that crap, and punk figured, oh well, now it's our turn, we're gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because there's a quote from Randy Burns, the engineer of this album, who said, let's see, his quote is basically, there were some really straightforward, fast and simple punk songs on there, but they're also moving in a different direction. They did merge some of the qualities of heavy metal and bringing that into the punk thing. Punk started going less garage and toward more of a produced sound at that time. That's what Randy Burns was saying. So
Randy Burns was the engineer?
Apparently, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's not the Randy Burns.
Who the fuck is Randy Burns?
Is it? It's got to be the Randy Burns, right?
The death metal guy?
No, Randy Burns has produced Peace Cells.
Where was Megadeth?
They're LA.
Were they Bay Area or were they?
No,
LA?
They're LA. Yeah, they're definitely LA.
Well,
they went back to LA.
There's no link on Wikipedia. It says Randy Burns engineer.
How could that guy be? How could he produce something that sounds that bad?
I mean, he's just getting started.
Yeah.
He was probably like 22 at this time, and then
but he put out Peace Cells 3 years later.
He's an engineer, so
yeah, he's just the engineer.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if
maybe I guess
the studio he was working with, improved or something.
I don't know.
Could have been using different.
We're talking about a different point that I was trying to make, though.
Sorry,
we're harping on the fact that this guy's.
Yeah, I just said Randy Burns. Randy Burns.
Randy Burns.
Yeah,
Glenn Friedman. He was in Megadeth too.
No, that was Marty's dad.
Oh. Right.
Dave Mustaine wrote this whole album, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
He wrote all metal. Did you know that? He made Iron Maiden.
That explains the drums.
He made Black Sabbath.
Well, he definitely made Pantera because he offered Dimebag to join his band.
Right.
So he wrote all of Dimebag's pieces.
All right, I'm sitting here trying to find this Randy Burns stuff.
Punch you in the face,
buddy.
I have that clip.
You do.
Well, that's how I feel about Dave Mustaine all the time.
Buddy, machine.
I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Oh, it's shoot you? I don't want to shoot him. I'm a pacifist-ish.
So
one way or another, Suicidal Tendencies, badass shit. This album might not be your thing, but you should listen to it at least once to see if it's your thing.
Oh, we're back on, yeah.
Well, if nothing else, you can at least see where they started and what they were before they became kind of a metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and everything they've done since. I mean, we've already talked about,
After Lights Camera Revolution, I tuned out.
I don't know. Freedom, I've heard bad things. I saw they played Freedom, the song, when I saw them a few months ago. I just bought their last album at that show, which is fucking solid as shit.
I tried it. I didn't really dig it.
Because you suck and your taste in music sucks. And
That's not nice.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Who knows?
Right. Let's get back to it. So,
Suicidal.
I think we've tried to wrap up like 5 times now.
Yeah.
But listen to the album. It's good. You'll like it.
All right.
So why don't we just go ahead and end the damn show?
Yeah, all right.
Throw some social medias out at you. Facebook.com/Somewhere in Time Podcast. Twitter.com/SIT Music Podcast and Instagram.com/Somewhere in Time Podcast. Just look for us on there. I've been trying to post more stuff on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and we're trying to get more subscribers on YouTube. I'm only done our episodes, so it's not like I'm putting more stuff out there for you guys. But we are posting our episodes to YouTube as well. So.
Oh, and if you're listening to us, you should listen to us on Podcoin.
Oh yeah,
because you
make some money.
You get like free shit if you listen to enough podcasts on that.
Yeah, check out Podcoin.
Yeah,
we have no affiliation with them, but you get money, so why not? I like money.
You get like Amazon gift cards after X amount of hours. You can donate to charities, which is if you're into that, it's the points go a lot farther for that. If you want to be a good person, do that. Or just you want Amazon or Dunkin' Donuts gift cards or whatever. Podcoin, we're on there.
Joe, we're not getting the advertising dollars from this, so
no,
don't go that hard.
I'm just trying to help out.
All right.
Anything with the website? Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Still under construction. Whenever I get some time, I'll.
Yeah, that's cool.
All I need is a theme, like like a WordPress theme, and then we can start putting stuff on there.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know what really. I don't know what's going to go on there, but
I mean, we could. I don't know.
Basically, the domain was like $15, and I have a free server to play with.
Constant loop of all our episodes.
I mean, or just random shit that whatever.
Bye, people. We're leaving.
Bye.
Forever.
What a fart of an end. What the fuck?
Bye, people. We're leaving.
Well, I did the social media. What else do you want?
Can we do like applause or something? Don't we have an outro song?
Yeah, we do.
We do. I can
do that. And
all right,
can we do applause?
I never do that.
Pause.
What? Applause, not pause.
Hold on.
Applause. Applause.
Energy, aggression, power.
To sum it up, it's a
vulgar display of power.
Metal and certain other forms of rock give teenagers something to believe in that they get no place else.
The human element of making music is what's most important. Singing into a microphone and learning to play an instrument, that's the most important thing.
The long version.
No.
Extended cut, yeah.
Long asleep.
Oh, I like it better. I like that riff better.
It's a good riff.
What the fuck? Why are we doing the other riff?
You just heard the other riff.
Why are we doing Slaughterama when you have that riff?
You want to hear it again?
We have the whole song.
I do have the whole song. No lyrics.
That's like sexy metal.